up and good morning, guys? Welcome back to another video. We are cruising the ranch in the mini truck. I'm pretty sure Papa Rhino drove the mini truck yesterday, and well, she is bogging down, and I don't know why. Sounds like she's running a little rough here. She kind of smells like she's running a little bit hot. I don't know, I just took it on some hot laps though, so that probably didn't help. To try and clear it out. It almost sounds like a two-stroke that kind of needs to be cleared out. If you guys have watched the last couple videos here at the ranch, you've seen the guys have been going around and just doing a awesome job weed whacking all the way around the fence line, which is no small feat. I mean, we just have a ton of fence line out here. One of the other things is they've been going in our animal stalls here, and I don't know if I've ever shown these stalls on camera. And honestly, I've never really poked around these much, but we got obviously our chicken coop right there behind me, and then we've got two good-sized animal stalls over here on this edge of the property. What's crazy is that shed right there used to be right up against the back fence, so the back side of this corral, and you can see all those burned manzanitas right there. The fire burned right up to it. Well, that shed was the fuel storage shed, and somehow the fire came within like a few feet of that and never ended up catching any of that fuel on fire. We pulled all the fuel cans out of it. They are empty, so they're just kind of sitting here for now until we fill them all back up. But we've also got this stall over here, and these are all set up pretty good. I mean, we got the little horse feeders here. At some point, it had an auto waterer. I don't know where any of that water line stuff goes because all that's kind of been abandoned. None of that really worked. We've got a pretty sweet doghouse that we just found the other day when we were clearing this out. I didn't know this was out here, but it's actually a really nice doghouse. This shed has since seen better days. Obviously, these plastic ones, once they're left in the sun, they get all kinds of weird and warped, so the doors are right there. So that one's pretty much trashed, but these stalls are actually really nice. And at some point, we're gonna move Barbecue the pig. We're not sure where. Either it's over to here into one of these stalls. This one's got some nice shaded area for her, or we move her up into the big round pen and give her a nice giant area. We'll just need to build some shade structures and a house and all that for her, as well as run water, because obviously, you know, pigs need to sit there and roll around in some mud. So today we're gonna switch it up and start on a new project out here at Rhino Ranch. I've got some tools loaded up in the mini truck here. I'll explain what we're gonna do here as we drive over to it. Oh, this seat is hot. So when we moved into the ranch, 2 weeks in, a fire came through and, well, you guys know, ravaged pretty much most of the property itself. And while we got lucky that we didn't lose the house, we did lose a couple of things, like our pump house for our well. And not only did we lose the pump house, we lost all of the equipment in it, which was very expensive to replace. I don't want that to happen again should a fire come through here. Before we head over to the well, we need to grab us some forms here. Let's see, we need to be at least 8 footers. There's an 8 footer. This is an old fence board, but you know what? It'll work. You can see at this well setup, there's just some temporary T-posts and some wire fencing here to keep the animals from getting in here and, you know, yanking on the wires, ripping the wires up or anything like that. So all this needs to come out and come down. It doesn't look great, and it's offering no protection for the well equipment other than from our donkeys. So the plan is pull all this fencing out. We strategically already placed all the block over here. Back when we finished the block work on the gate project, I moved all the extras right here because I knew this was at some point gonna be on the project list. So we're gonna pull all this out, and then we're basically gonna build a little, kind of like a trash enclosure, we'll call it. I don't know if it's gonna end up ever getting a roof or not, but for now it's gonna be 4 walls with either a door or a gate to get in here. The problem with putting a roof on well equipment is, should anything ever go wrong and we need to pull our in-ground pump out, you basically have to pull out 20-foot sections of pipe with a crane on a truck. So if you do put a roof, you have to put a roof hatch to be able to get in here to pull all this piping out. So I'm not sure what we're gonna do in terms of that yet, but I am sure that we need to put some type of surrounding around here to protect the well equipment from fire and animals and all that. So what I'm thinking is we're gonna do an 8-foot by 8-foot enclosure, obviously out of block because we know block is fireproof. And I think that's big enough. I don't wanna go too big. I don't want this thing to like draw your attention to it, but I want it to look better than this wire fencing. Now, I'm no well expert. I have never put a well in myself, but I don't understand the shape of concrete here at the top of the well pipe. And maybe you well guys out there can cue me in on why we go for like the, I don't even know what shape that is. Hexagon? No, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, Pentagon. Pentagon, quick Google search, cleared that one up. Right now, it looks just like the Pentagon building. Does it though? Does it though? Anyways, I don't understand the pentagon shape here. Clearly they formed this up out of concrete. It's easier to do a square. I don't know why we decided to make it harder and do a pentagon there. What do I know? I'm no well expert. Speaking of not being a well expert, I don't know what that little plug is, and that thing's clearly brittle and has been eaten up by the sun there. I don't know that we're really gonna be able to chip this concrete out around that pipe. Maybe we can, maybe we should just leave this and pour around it. I don't really know. But first things first, I'm gonna make my formwork for my rebar, which will obviously be, you know, 8 foot by 8 foot, give or take. It'll shrink a little bit because the rebar will be inside of it. That way I can lay it on the ground and kind of square it up to what I think's visually gonna look best, because there's really nothing to square it up with. Like, following the driveway doesn't really make sense because this driveway is gonna change, and there's just like no reference on where to square this up. So I'm gonna make a square on the ground, stand back, look at it, and just kind of get it to where I think looks best. Now, one of the cool things about the mini truck is all of the sides fold down, so you can basically get yourself a nice little miter stand workbench here to work on. Move all this stuff out the way. Clearly you can tell I have been putting this thing to work since day one. We got the Milwaukee cordless miter saw. Is it a little bit overkill for what we're doing today? Yeah, but it was close by, so I grabbed it, and it's cordless. Now we're doing an 8 foot by 8 foot enclosure, so our rebar forms need to be 4 inches in from each side. So we're cutting these at 7'4". And then for our 2 inside ones, we're going to cut those at 7'1", because they're gonna go in between these 2 boards, so we have to account for the 1.5 inch thickness of each of those 2x4s. So we are going to get this screwed together, and again, this is very rudimentary and can be pretty rough here. It's just forms for the rebar. Okay, now we need to square this up, because we obviously don't want a parallelogram building, and this is going to determine where our rebar goes. Now, there's a couple different methods. Some of you guys would probably just put a big old framing square in the corner, call that good. There's nothing wrong with that. We could do the 3-4-5 method if you guys don't know what that is. So just to keep it simple, let's see, we'll go 3 inches here, 4 inches here, and then if it was square, we would be at exactly 5 inches, which we are. So you can do that on any size scale. So say you want to do 3 feet, 4 feet, check across at 5 feet, which is probably what I would do at this scale. Or we can measure our diagonals. So if this was square, our measurement from that corner over there, typically you want to use one side of the tape. So we call this the top of the tape, because obviously this is the top of the numbers. Bottom of the tape, you want to make sure whatever side is on over there is the side you're using over here. So if we are 125 inches there, we should be 125 that way as well, and that would tell us that we are square. Now, how do you know what number you need? I'm a big fan of this app. Hopefully you guys can see this, but I use the Construction Master Pro app. This actually used to be a real calculator that you guys could buy. I think they still are actually calculators you can buy, but the app is super cheap. So if you want to know what that diagonal number needs to be, you just come into this app and you type in, what are we, 7'4". So we'll go 7 feet, 4 inches. That's our length. And then we go 7 feet, 4 inches as our width. And then we hit width again. Tells us our square feet. Width one more time. That tells us what we need to be to square up. So we need to be 10 foot 4 and 7/16. Basically 10 foot 4.5 is close enough. And you could totally convert that to inches if you wanted to. But we are 10 foot 5. So we need to kind of tweak this frame a little bit to get her to true square. And we're pretty close there. Okay, all of our diagonals are on. We now have a piece that we can move around, set in place, eyeball, square up, and mark where we're going to be digging our footings. Obviously, we got to get these T-posts and this fencing out of the way before we could set that in place. And the only efficient way I've ever found to remove T-posts is with the Mini X. So let's go grab the Mini X. The excavator is all warmed up. I actually used it the other day to pull the golf cart out, and man, that thing has seen some better days. We really need to go through and revamp that golf cart. Now, I know the best way to do this is to wrap a chain around the actual T-post and yank it out, but I'm rolling solo right now, so I'm not gonna jump out, wrap a chain, jump back in. We'll just use our thumb here, and we can usually wedge these things in. Get a nice good bite like that. Oh, almost had her, almost had her. Just gotta get it in the right spot in the jaw there. There we go. Oh, come on, there we go. All right, one T-post out. All right. Let's get it up and over the well. Oh, wait, there we go, there we go, okay. And our third and final one here. Of course, the last one's gonna be the one that fights us the most. Kind of broke off in the ground there, but we'll call that good enough. Now, while obviously I have the Mini X out here, I am scared to get in here and start digging around this setup because I know for a fact we've got the water line coming out, which obviously runs that way. The power also kind of runs that way, hopefully, but I don't know if they ever like stubbed off of here to run power anywhere else and or water to all the irrigation systems that used to be here. These footings don't have to be very big at all. These guys can end up digging them pretty quick by hand versus me coming in here and ended up hitting a water line, which we can fix pretty easily, but it's the electrical that I don't want to grab and end up ripping out. We got the Harbor Freight generator that has worked flawlessly out here at the ranch, and we are getting this dug. Now, while the guys get the footing all dialed in, we're gonna go see our friends over at RCP and pick up a pallet of concrete because we're just gonna mix everything on site for you know, something this small. We're anticipating about 1.5 to 2 pallets, which sucks because I'm only gonna comfortably haul 1 pallet in this truck at a time, so that means it's gonna take 2 trips to get enough concrete up here for that setup. I need them all hand unloaded. I don't want to pay for the pallet. No, I'll take the pallet. Don't scratch the bed liner, shorty. Yeah, she would love to carry 2. I'm telling you, one's heavy, bro. As far as you can. That should be good. You're right over the axle. Easy. Put it in the back seat.
You want it?
Just give me a little further. A little further. Oh. Shorty don't mess around. That's good. Yep, perfect. No scratches. Good work, shorty. That's why you're the best, buddy. We have our pallet. She's a little heavy. This truck's definitely a 1 pallet truck. I feel like we are riding on the bump stop. Now, for those of you that are gonna say, Ron, I should have just brought your trailer. You could have brought 2 pallets. Well, the trailer itself weighs 4,000 pounds. These pallets, it's 35 sacks at 90 pounds. Let's just, for the sake of easy math, say they were 100 pounds each. There's 3,500 pounds per pallet. So that'd be 7,000 pounds plus the 4,000 pounds, that's 11,000 pounds, and this truck does not like to tow 11,000 pounds to the ranch. Well, the old girl made it back, guys. We've got all the concrete, we're looking good. We've got SoCal Greg A. It was apparently matching Papa Rhino today, the same t-shirt.
What time did you get up? She might be matching me.
I feel like you guys planned to match today.
Maybe.
Okay. Think this thing can haul the trailer?
I hope so.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if this one can do it, I can do it.
Well, in a strange turn of events here, you guys can see by the ground right there, and probably by the hood of the truck and the windshield, it has started sprinkling. You can see we've got a lot of clouds that rolled in the last few minutes. Obviously, I don't want all this concrete to get wet because once it gets wet, it gets hard and then it is useless here. So we parked up underneath the patio here, and that's gonna sit there until tomorrow. We charge extra for the rental if we have to hook it up. So he does work for tips, yep. But I get 70% of the tip.
So you get 75 cents because you got $1.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's more than I had 5 minutes ago. Well, while we were gone, the guys got the footing completely dug here. Abel's running around right now with the laser because even on something this small, we want to make sure, you know, everything's nice and shot in to where that level on our lowest point there is the bottom of the footing all the way around. The footing's not doing some weird humps and roller coasters or anything like that. Okay, a new day is upon us. We didn't end up really getting much rain, just enough to really make everything nice and dirty there. We're gonna head down to the gate. The guys are already down there starting to get the form set. We're gonna unload the OBS and then we gotta run back to our friends over at RCP, get another pallet of concrete.
Maybe 3 de esas, eh?
See?
Sí, es mucho. Es mucho concrete. Maybe de este mínimo 3 pallet.
Stolo. Pallet number 1 is unloaded. Abel's getting worried, he thinks we're gonna need 3 pallets. His footings ended up just a little bit bigger by the time we kept it level all the way through. We're gonna do this a little bit different than we did things like the guest house or even the columns for the entrance there. We're gonna pour the foundation at the same time as we pour the footings for the block work. So they've got their 2x12s here. These guys are gonna keep getting everything set up. We are gonna run back into town Let's go get another pallet, and hopefully it's 2, not 3 pallets. Deja vu, round 2. Shorty got fired. We got Cowboy in here. Easy, boys, easy. We lost one. Fork down. Let's really push the capacity of this thing today. Here we go, trip number 2. We got a little more weight this time. We added some Portland cement, and we're gonna use that to make some concrete on site with some of the gravel we have out there and some of the sand. Yeah. Abel's thinking we're gonna need 3 pallets, and I don't think he's wrong. So worst case scenario, because I don't wanna have to come back for a 3rd pallet, is we're gonna use that Portland cement with the gravel on site as well as the sand from the lot. And we're gonna go old school, and we're gonna mix some concrete the old school way. Well guys, we are back at the ranch. There was a little bit of confusion with the formwork, so I had to have the guys pull it apart and reset it, so that's gonna eat up a lot of time, and Abel doesn't think we're gonna have time to pour today. I'm really gonna push to hopefully pour, but we do have to mix up like 3 yards of concrete by hand. Well, not by hand, we got a mixer. And speaking of mixer, I'm gonna do a little tow test here with the old mini truck and see if she'll tow the concrete mixer, which we're backing up to right now. Now this old rig right here ain't just for towing goosenecks. The first hitch I actually put on was the bumper pole hitch down there, so this old concrete mixer should be no problem for the mini truck. Nice and tight. All right, we're looking good. I don't know if you guys can see in the mirror there. Now, Abel is concerned. He doesn't think we're gonna be able to get all this done and poured today. Me and Paparano, we're gonna push and we're gonna get this poured and done today. While these guys are getting the rebar tied in, we're not gonna tie in the verticals, the L's that are where they're gonna tie in the blockwork. We're just gonna jab those into the concrete as we're pouring it. But we're gonna start mixing up some concrete here. Like I said earlier, we're gonna be doing some of our own mix on top of the bags that we have. We've got some big rock gravel here, and then we've got a ton of really nice filtered sand that once you mix sand, gravel, and cement, which is the Portland cement, the bags that we have in the bed of the truck right here, you get concrete. A lot of people call concrete cement. Cement is actually an ingredient to concrete. It's not the proper term to address it. So right here we have Portland cement, and this is what we're gonna be mixing in with the sand and the rock to make our own concrete. Alrighty, also here's a little trick. It's a lot easier to load half bags into the mixer than full bags. So take a piece of rebar, put it underneath, just cut halfway through your bag. You don't want to cut all the way through, right in line with your rebar. Then you just grab your rebar and it'll stand up your bag. And then you take your rebar and you pick up on it, cuts the other side of your bag. Now you got half sacks, which are easier to load into the mixer. So again, we're really trying to stretch this out here with the 2 pallets of concrete that we got. So we've got this really nice sand that when it rains, and you guys know all the fighting I had to do with all the water coming down towards the gate, but it deposited a lot of really nice sand. So we're gonna use this to mix in. We're gonna use all of this in the footing. That way if there's like a little piece of grass or straw or something in there, it's not gonna mess it up when we're trying to finish the top. The top should take a little less than a pallet to do the actual pad portion of it. So we'll see how far we get. Right now the guys are taking lunch while me and Paparano grind it out over here and mix up all the concrete. Yep. All right. This is 3, that'll be 4 total. Not gonna lie, y'all, I'm getting a little bit nervous. This is 2 drums full from the mixer over there. That's a 1/3 of a yard mixer. Granted, we're not mixing a 1/3 of a yard at a time. I mean, mixing about a 1/5 when it comes to the bags. Plus we add our own mix on top of that to kind of mix everything together. So we're a little more than a fifth, maybe a quarter yard. And we got a long ways to go here. We'll see. Papa Rhino's old school. He's all about like, hey, we'll make concrete with what you got there. He comes from the generation before the pre-mixed bags of concrete, where you got sand, gravel, and cement dropped off by a dump truck on site, and then from there you mixed everything in a mixer. I mean, he probably mixed thousands of yards in his old antique mixer there.
So when you mix this, one sack is 30 sand, 30 syllable sand, 30 syllable rock.
I don't know, guys, things are looking pretty bleak. That's the last we got right there of that first pallet. We need that second pallet to do the actual slab portion. So things are getting pretty close here, pretty close. Now is where things start getting a little bit hairy. We just unloaded. We've unloaded the pallet here. Whew, I don't miss the days of hand unloading pallets all day long, but we're gonna save this. This needs to go to do the actual slab portion of it. So we're trying to stretch 2 yards into like 3.5, but I think we're gonna be all right. We got enough Portland cement to make like 3 or 4 batches just out of the gravel and the sand that's here. See, guys, when you're part of our family, every vehicle eventually ends up becoming a work truck. We've got the old Tahoe here. It's not a truck, it's an SUV. Papa Rhino had an extra bag of Portland cement, so we'll add 1 more bag to our mix here, but things are looking freaking good. We made 2 to 3 batches here. So we are looking pretty good over here. We've still got our whole pallet since we mixed up a bunch of our own. Papa Rhino went ahead and jabbed in all of our verticals. That's gonna be where, that's our rebar that's gonna tie the blockwork into the footing as well as the foundation. The old mixer's still running strong. We mixed in some of Zach fuel that we had at the warehouse, and it had banana scent mixed in. I don't know if you guys have ever used scented stuff for dirt bikes and all that. So I've just gotten this sickening smell of Laffy Taffy banana all day as we're sitting here mixing. Don't recommend it. I think we're gonna chalk this one up today is pulling off a miracle. We're looking good over there. Working our way up on the old pad. We've got plenty of concrete at this point. I'm happy. Cue the time lapse. News, guys. Well, we made it on concrete, obviously. We've got 6 bags extra, so well, actually I think 7, 8 bags extra. So we're gonna end up using those tomorrow. Once they strip the forms off here, we're gonna form up maybe like a little 3x3 foot step. Obviously we wanted this way up off the ground because the water kind of floods through here. So now we're just waiting. We're gonna let it harden up a little bit. Luckily the sun has come out now. It's gonna tack this up probably about another hour or so. We can get out here and hard trowel this thing and finish it. You'll probably notice in the time lapse, we were so focused on like trying to make enough concrete out of what we had here that we totally forgot to tie our rebar mat in there. So we cut the rebar and then we just kind of pushed it down into the concrete and basically got our mat in there. So we are good to go. Now we play a little bit of the waiting game. Everything is nice and cleaned up. The guys did an absolute killer job today. I know they were super worried about, you know, getting this done, you know, before 3:30, which is quitting time, and we are right now at 3:20. So perfect timing. The boys are gonna take off. Me and Papa Rhino will hang around and get this finished. And we can officially put a done stamp on the pad here for the pump house. Papa Rhino trouted a little wetter than we typically would, but we're just over it and ready to get out of here. It's a pump house. You know, had to put the signature USA in it right there. I pretty much put that in every footing that we ever do. So if you ever demo any of our walls in like 150 years, and you see that, you know, it was done by me. Super stoked on the mini truck today though. This thing put in some work. I mean, she got a pretty good sized load in her right there. We're gonna haul her back to the house. We'll be back on it tomorrow in the morning, and then we're gonna start the block work. Okay guys, so I ran down this morning to our friends over at RCP. I think I'm gonna start judging these projects on how many trips to RCP it takes. I've got 10 sacks of spec mix mortar, which is what we're gonna be using to start laying the block today. While I was gone, the guys got our little entry step here poured. So we're gonna wait for that to tack up a little bit, and then we'll jump on there and finish it. Now, concrete finishing was something I tried to grasp many times and just realized I'm never gonna be a concrete finisher. This is about the extent here of what you're gonna see me finish. So we're putting a broom finish on it right now with just a horsehair broom here. That's to add texture, because anything exterior wise on concrete, you wanna have texture, because concrete like that is in there, where it's troweled smooth, is slippery. So anything outside, you always wanna add texture, and typically it is broom finish like we are doing right here. And we got Papa Rhino back out here doing some block work. He was just talking about what happened?
Oh, a guy got me at the red light. Hey, is that Mama Rhino's Tahoe? Yeah. Oh man, I'm so excited.
We got the fan club. You got a fan club?
Yeah, I got a fan club now.
All right.
Yeah,
you gonna start selling merch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry, boys. It's coming.
All right. Want to get this whole thing done today?
Yep.
Well, we are coming out of the ground, guys. Almost 4 courses up the entire way around. Building your corners and your leads is what takes the longest when it comes to block work. And unfortunately, when you're doing a small little square like this, it's all corners and leads. So there's only a little bit of room for the infill there in the center, but so far making really great progress. Staying at about this course, because this course is going to be where the window is going to go in. I'm essentially trying to visually match the look of the guard shack. Obviously, there's really no use for the window, but you know, I want this to look good as well, because it's kind of one of the things you see when you're coming into the property. You know, there's ways to do the rural life. You can either do it kind of hokey and kind of ghetto, or you can make it really nice. I mean, there's lots of multi-million-dollar properties out there that are on a well and septic, but they make everything look really nice. So that's the goal out here. Instead of having like a shanty pump house, you know, it looks like an outhouse, let's build something nice. Obviously, it ends up costing a little bit more and a lot more time, but at the end of the day, it's gonna last forever, and it's just visually gonna look really nice. So you can see inside right here, Abel's putting sand down. This is like the cheap, quick, dirty, and easy way to protect the new concrete from the mortar that essentially falls out when we're laying the block. It all lays on top of the sand here, and then when you're done, you just scoop the sand up and you're good. Willie's trying to sneak over here, get into everybody's lunch. What's up, Willie? Chavo doesn't like when you steal his lunch. Do you have anything you'd like to say to the people, Willie? Not the best interview I've ever done, but A for effort, buddy. You know, some people aren't even willing to talk at all. Now, the poor old mini truck over here, I went to pull out yesterday from basically being parked right here, and she is just bogging down like crazy. I mean, it's almost like a two-stroke that is completely flooded, and like you're in third gear trying to take off. Like something's really bogging down about it. I checked the intake, filter's clean. There's like a weird tube that runs through the frame. I'll show you this right now. Check this out. So the air box is underneath the seat there, and then from the air box, this tube comes out right here, and hopefully you guys can see that, and it runs into the frame. I don't know where it sucks in air from there. I don't know if it's in the front. It's gotta be in the front, right? Wouldn't that make sense? I don't know. Let's see. Is the frame open in the front? So I capped the rears of the frame when I built my hitch assembly. I don't know if you guys remember that. So I'm like, well, maybe it's not getting enough air. So I completely disconnected that hose and let it just float there and suck air naturally. And well, that didn't change anything. It had plenty of air. Then I checked the fuel filter. The fuel was flowing through that thing just fine. So I'm like, okay, well, we got plenty of fuel. So I'm wondering now if there's an electrical issue. I did change the spark plugs out and it ran perfectly. I wonder if one like walked its way out a little bit, if there's a bad plug wire. I mean, they're all clipped in. I don't know at this point. Like that's about the level of my expertise of being a mechanic. So we'll have to dig a little further. I don't have the right spark plug socket here at the ranch, so I'm gonna have to bring one from the shop, dive a little deeper and see if we can't get her figured out. She still runs, but she's running pretty rough.
Okay guys, we got 4 rolls on today. Got it all squared up, ready to go. First thing Monday morning.
No, that's how much it bogs down now. So you can see with Abel right there trying to just pull away from this parking spot. She does not want to move. You gotta really get on her, give her some gas. And even then, oh, there we go. Okay, she's moving. We definitely got some major issues going on with the old mini truck here. I'm hoping it's like a spark plug or two back their way out. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but maybe. And that is going to be a wrap on the first part of the Rhino Ranch Pump House project. I'm sure there's gonna be a ton of comments being like, why are you starting a new project when you haven't finished the entrance? Well, concrete isn't like it used to be, where you can call up and order dang near as much concrete as you want same day. Now you have to schedule it pretty much 1 to 2 months in advance. It's crazy out there, so can't get enough concrete to do the driveway yet. That's why we're jumping over here, and well, you know, we got our own concrete plant. For about that. That's about our limit right there that we're gonna want to mix on site. Now, as much as I am not a concrete finisher, I am even less a block layered. Papa Rhino had the guys to be his tenders today, so I just stayed out of the way and got some other projects done. The best I can do in the concrete block world is be a tender. That's it. You need any decorative stonework, brickwork, or anything like that, that's a different ball game. That's where I come in. But we are one step closer to making Rhino Ranch the palatial drug dealer estate that I want it to look like, and I'm beyond stoked. Every step is a major win, so super stoked to be bringing you guys along for this entire process. I mean, we've got acres on acres on acres on acres on acres on acres on acres to do cool stuff with, and I'm so thankful that you guys joined me on here, as well as, you know, the views, the likes, the comments, purchasing over at Workford Apparel. All of that does help go into being able to afford to build this stuff. So I thank you guys for that. I am forever indebted and grateful. You guys are the freaking best. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not subscribed already, please click the subscribe button now that you do not miss out on any future content. And don't forget to give this video a like, a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out workfordapparel.com, because if there's anything you want in this life, you got to be willing to work for it. You guys are the best. I'm out.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah.